What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Zelda's Way. Today we are going to talk about what I learned in 2021. I know I'm like a whole month late because I should have probably recorded this back in January when the year first started, or like probably at the end of December, but you know, it's never too late to talk about things that you've learned, you know. So we are now in 2022, and that's like crazy to me because I'm about to turn 25 this year. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I've learned, because I feel like I've learned so much from when I came from high school into the military, and like now I'm like on my own and stuff like that. So like I've learned a lot. Like when I was in high school, man, I feel like people was different, but like when you get out here, people just change. There's a lot of witches and wizards, plenty of them all, but it's okay, you know, that's why lessons are learned. So I'm just gonna hop right into the video and get right into what I've learned from 2021 and what I'm gonna take with me into 2022. For starters, the first thing I learned in 2021 was patience. I feel like I've never been good with patience, but I feel like 2021 really tested my patience in so many ways. Like it tested my patience with people, it tested my patience with family. Like it was just so many things that happened in 2021 to me. I feel like my life changed a lot in 2021 than any year that it ever has, and I'm not even sure why 2021 was such a drastic change in my life, but it really was. I learned so much about patience. Like I've always been a super impatient person. Like growing up, I never was patient for anything. I felt like if I wanted something, it was just like my mom would just do it for me, or like if I needed something, my dad would just do it for me. I just never had to like hesitate or like have any issues with patience. Like things would just happen, you know. So I feel like the biggest thing I learned was to be patient, to wait on things. I think to wait on God, that was the biggest thing for me. I feel like, you know, in the Bible it says tribulation worketh patience. So it's like you go through so many things to learn to be patient, right? And so I feel like God really taught me patience in 2021, because it was like so many things were happening, and he taught me how to just be calm, to be content, even though I still have my anger issues. If you don't know me by now, everybody knows that Miss C-Ray has the shortest temper in the entire world. Like I just blow up so fast. I just did vex. Any small thing, I just did vex. Like I be getting angry so fast. So like I feel like in 2021 he taught me how to just be patient, like to just wait on him. I feel like the biggest thing for me was to just be dependent on God, to just let him do what he wanted to do in my life, to let him mold me. Because I'm the type of person, like I struggle a lot with being dependent on God. Like I'm gonna be honest, I do. Like I just be wanting things to be done now, and you know God has his own time for everything. And so when you pray to God for something, the biggest thing is to learn how to just be patient and have to have faith also. So I learned a lot to just be patient. The second thing I learned in 2021 would be how to deal with toxic people. Oh my gosh, I feel like in 2021 so many people just like, it's like they was wearing a mask, to be honest. You ever been to a masquerade? I ain't never been to a masquerade ball, but it's like they was at a masquerade ball and they just took off their mask. They was at a masquerade ball all year long, and they said, you know what, I'm gonna take this mask off and I'm just gonna show you who I am. That's literally what happened. Let me tell y'all, people could just be so toxic. Like I've never met people who try to play so innocent in my entire existence. I feel like for me, a lot of times I'm not saying I'm the victim, but I feel as though a lot of times people say I'm the one who starts the issue with people all the time. It's always me. I'm like the issue starter. You know what I mean? Like I start stuff. But that's not the case. Like people just like to play innocent, and when you call them out on their stuff, they try to say, oh, you're the problem. You got this wrong with you, or this is wrong with you, this is wrong with me. Let me tell y'all something today, okay? Word of advice. Anybody who is your friend, family, you're in a relationship with this person, anyone who's constantly trying to call you out on your stuff every single time, if you try to say something, they're trying to check you, that's toxic. Because it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be a mutual relationship. If I'm gonna call you out, then you call me out respectfully, but we do it respectfully. But some people get a little disrespectful. So I feel like the biggest thing I learned is how to deal with toxic people. learned how to, like, the red flags of people that are toxic, like people who like I said, people who like to act innocent, people who, like, when you share, they don't share with you, like you're just sharing your stuff and they're not sharing with you also. Like, that's a toxic friendship or a toxic relationship in general. So for me, the way I deal with toxic people, from what I learned in 2021, is I lost so many friends. Like, it's ridiculous. I lost a lot of friends, but I learned that when it comes to someone that I've noticed that's toxic, I've just learned to, like, just kind of keep my distance. That's the biggest thing I've learned, is to just kind of, like, keep my distance. I don't need to, like, be too close to you. Like, we could be cool, we could say hi and bye, we can be cordial, right? But, like, hey, too many people are witches and wizards. I'm telling you, there's too many. Oh, I don't want trouble. So, like, literally, I just be trying to be like, you know, I'm just giving you your space, you give me my space, and we keep it moving. We move, you know. Valentine is coming as your boyfriend. You are sitting at home lonely. All right, now that was not even nothing to do with toxic people, but it's been stuck in my head all day. Anyway, the third thing that I learned this year was to be careful what I share. Like, I learned that I need to be careful what I share with people. Not everyone who I feel like I can open up to. Like, this is me. I feel like I was born with a very pure and genuine spirit. Like, I really do feel that way, because I always see the good in people first. Like, I don't automatically assume that someone is going to betray me. I don't automatically assume that that person is going to hurt me. I don't automatically assume that that person is a witch or a wizard. Okay, let me stop calling people witches and wizards. Sorry. But seriously, like, I don't automatically assume that that person is, like, mean or, like, has an evil spirit or something like that. But, like, I think that I just genuinely, because of the type of nature I have, I genuinely open up to people. So, like, when I meet somebody, like, I'm quick to just be like, oh, girl, da, 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 and try to be close with that person, and, like, I start bonding or I start sharing. I'm gonna tell y'all now, stop sharing with people. That is, like, the biggest thing I feel like I learned in 2021 is I gotta stop sharing. I overshare. Like, I tell people too much about myself, and then people turn around and they end up backstabbing me, or they end up talking about me, or they end up, like, when they want to get back at me or try to, like, check me, they end up throwing back what I told them in my face. Like, I learned that I can't trust everybody. Like, that's literally what I've learned. Like, people are just not genuine. Like, you think they're genuine because you feel like you're laughing with them, you're cool with them, but they're really not genuine. They don't like you. That's the truth. They just don't like you. So, I definitely learned to be careful what I share. That was, like, a big one for me, too. Yes. My fourth thing that I learned in 2021 was gossip. People love to gossip. This goes right back into be careful what you share. Like, people love to gossip. You could tell somebody who you think you trust your business, next thing you know, you hear it in somebody else's mouth. I learned heavily. Like, I feel like I learned this in 2020 and I learned it in 2021. Stop telling people your business, girl, because they really gonna gossip about you. People don't like you. I'm telling you, it's something about people when they see a confident, strong woman. Like, people just don't like it. They want to tear you down as much as they possibly can. They want to get at you. They want to just hurt your feelings. They just want to tear you down and bring you down with them. Don't let nobody stop your shine, sis. Like, you can do this. Stop telling people your business. That's the biggest thing that I learned, is that I got to stop sharing. People like to gossip. They're going to talk about you. They're going to talk about you like they was never your friend. And here's another thing. A friend that's talking to you about another friend is definitely talking about you. Let me say that again. Preach, preacher, because I don't think y'all heard me the first time. A friend who is talking to you about another friend is not your friend. She's talking about you too. He or she, because I'm not even going to just say she, because men be talking too. Some of y'all men, y'all be really trying it. Like, y'all really be talking. Like, y'all messy too. So, a friend that is talking about another friend to you is not your friend. They talking about you too. Period. That's not your friend. So, I definitely learned that I just have to be careful what I say to people, and people just love to gossip. Like, gossip is going to happen. Like, if people aren't talking about you, you ain't doing something right. I'm convinced in this life that if people not talking about you, you not doing something right. Like, something wrong. They gotta talk about you. They gotta say something about you, because that just shows you that your star is bright, that you shining, like you you know what I'm saying, you got something going for yourself, and people see that in you. Even if you don't see it in yourself, sometimes people see things in you that you don't even see in yourself. Sometimes people see the potential in you, and you don't even see the potential in yourself. So it's like, if people talking about you, don't even feel like, dang, I'm so sad, or I'm depressed, or I'm this because people talking about you. No, that means it's good. Like, you got haters. Like, that's what that means. My fifth thing that I learned is not everyone is your friend, bruh. I feel like I'm saying the same thing over again, but it's all correlated. Like, not everyone is your friend. You could meet somebody just because they seem nice and you smile to them and you laugh with them and you chuckle with them or whatever, or y'all can kick it here and there. That doesn't mean that's your friend. That doesn't mean that you should open up. That doesn't mean that you should share. Like, I think my sister literally told me the other day, she was like, some people, she said, nowadays I'm learning the older we're getting, like, you're not supposed to be friends with everybody. Some people you just supposed to be like hi and bye. And like, if y'all see each other at a cookout or a party or something, or like a kickback, anything, if y'all see each other, it's just supposed to be a mutual conversation. Like, oh, hey girl, how you been? Oh, I'm good, girl, this is that. It's never supposed to go past that point. It's supposed to just stay as like a generalized friendship, like a cordial friendship where y'all can be cool when y'all in public. Not everyone is your friend. Just because that person seems down to earth and they seem honest and genuine, you need to study them a little bit longer, see their character, see who they are, see how they operate if you want to make that person a close friend. But I think that the biggest thing to keep in mind is to keep your distance with everybody in general when you first meet them. Don't start sharing after like 2-3 days of talking to each other, then boom, you start talking about your business. Don't do it, sis. That's a disaster, especially if they're not sharing with you. That's the biggest thing. If the person that you're sharing information to about yourself and they're not sharing that information with you, they're not sharing nothing with you personal, sis, red flag, cut that friend off. It's not gonna work, because they're gonna end up talking about you and they're gonna start trying to make it seem like, oh, like you're a hot mess, especially when they think that you think you better than everybody else. So that's that. Another big thing that I learned, my sixth thing that I learned in 2021 was I've never had to deal with so much grief in my life. Like, this part is very sensitive. I don't like to talk. I don't know if a lot of people know, well, a lot of people that know me know that I'm a very private person. I just like to be private about my personal life, like things that go on in my family. I don't post all of my accomplishments on social media. I just don't post things that are like, I don't post nothing that has to do with progression, my family, none of that stuff on my social media accounts, just because I feel like not everybody is like wanting good for you. Some people prey on your downfall. And so you never know who's out there just like, oh, I wish this could happen to her, or I wish that could happen to her, or someone who's jealous of you. You just never know what people's intentions are. And so I just personally keep things like that, like money, career progression, success, business endeavors. I keep all of that stuff like private. So it's like, I just don't put everything out there because I don't want nobody to really know my moves. I like to move in silence. I'm that person. Yeah, I move in silence. So a lot of people don't know a lot about my personal life on social media, which I like. I just like to keep it very quiet in that area. But one of the biggest thing, I'm actually going to share this with you guys. In 2021, I lost my dad, and that was like the biggest thing for me. I didn't post it all over my social media accounts. I wasn't posting all over Instagram. I did post on Facebook because, again, that's where a lot of my family is, and that was a place for me. I felt like I could express myself and I could just write out how I feel. But yeah, I lost my dad, and I post a lot of stuff on my WhatsApp story. I like WhatsApp so much. I don't know why. I'm a typical African, y'all. I love WhatsApp. I'm not gonna hold you. It's you know, it's legit. You know, you can chat with people, talk on the phone, and then guess what? You can post a story. And only your family, only your people who you share a contact with can see your story. So that's why I like it. It's very private, so I post a lot of my personal things on there sometimes. But other than that, it's the only platform I will share anything on. But I lost my dad in 2021, which was like the biggest like heartbreak for me, because I loved my dad. I mean, who doesn't love their dad, you know? Every girl is a daddy's girl. Like, every girl is a daddy's girl. Every girl. Like, even if you don't have the best relationship with your dad, you crave that relationship with your father, because it's like, that's the first man that shows you how to be loved by a man, to be honest with you. So I was very close to my dad. Like, I loved my dad so much. Like, my mom, and everybody says I look just like my dad. My mom always used to say like, oh, disi leki papa. That in Creole, that means she likes her dad. She likes her dad basically more than me. So when I lost my dad, it was a very tough, like, heartbreak for me. It still is a heartbreak for me. I feel like it's something that I could never get over, because losing a parent is like no other pain. Like, it's so unreal. You know, like, you hear sometimes, like, I've had cousins who lost their parents, and they say to me, oh, you know, I send my condolences, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, like, I'm here for you. But you never understand that pain until it happens to you. Like, that's what I've learned. Like, you'll never understand the pain of losing a parent until you lose a parent. So I learned a lot about grief. I feel like I've never dealt with grief in my entire life until 2021 came, when I lost my father. And then I dealt with grief, and I was like, yo, like, this is really tough. Like, you just think sometimes, like, I've lost family members, you know what I mean? But this, like, this loss was like the biggest one for me. Like, it literally felt like my world was crashing down. Like, and some days I'm okay and some days I'm not, you know? But at the end of the day, you know, I learned how to deal with grief a little bit better. I wouldn't say I've mastered the technique of dealing with grief, but I think the older we get, we have to understand that our parents are not going to be here forever. Our loved ones may not be here forever. We start to see death from a different perspective the older we get. You know, when we're little, we don't see death. We don't think about death. It's not something that, you know, is real to us. But the older we get, the more adulting, like, the more adult life we start to, like, get or whatever, or the, you know, the older we get, we start to see death more, and we start to learn about grief, and we start to learn about losing someone close to you, all those things. So I think grief was another big thing that I learned in 2021. I don't think that grief is something that I've mastered, because if I lose anyone else close to me, I think I'd still feel the same way. But it's just having that feeling for the first time of losing someone so close to me. So that was something that I dealt with in 2021, that I learned about. You know, like I said, I wouldn't say I've mastered grief. I don't think you can ever master grief. I think it's just something that you just have to deal with when it comes to you. Then my last thing that I learned, this is number 7. My last thing that I learned in 2021 was friendships. I feel like I've hit on that already so many times, but I've learned that the friendships that you make in, like, high school, let me say from middle school to high school, those friendships usually last the longest. I'm not saying, in some cases you can make other new friends on the way. It's 100% possible, you know, to make new friends on the way and things like that. But friendships, I feel like that you have made from when you're in middle school and high school, those last the longest. Like, two of my best friends, right? They're not even my best friends. They're like sisters to me. I've known them since, I've known one of them since freshman year of high school. We're both, like, she's 23 now, I'm 24. My other best friend slash sister, I've known her since 8th grade, and we've been friends since then. All of these friendships have lasted over 10, like, close to 10 years now. So, and they know me more than anyone else. Like, they're the type of people I can just open up to, and I feel like I'd never be judged, you know? So that's another thing to keep in perspective too. Newer friendships, you have to be very careful, because you never know what that person is coming in, what their intentions are, and what they think of you, you know? For you, you may see it like, oh, you know, oh yeah, they seem cool, da-da-da, you start to open yourself up. But then for them, it's like, oh, this is just a temporary friendship for me. Like, I'm just trying to chill with somebody till I, you know what I'm saying, till I go somewhere else, or till I do something else with my life, or until I move. So I think I learned a lot about friendships in 2021, because I did make a lot of new friends, and then also I lost a lot of new friends too. I lost a lot of friends in 2021. Like, people who I thought I would never lose as a friend, I lost friends in 2021. And I think it was for the good. I am a firm believer that God puts certain people into your life to teach you something, and then he separates you from that person. Even if he tries to show you the flag so many times and you try to, like, ignore them, he will separate you from that person if you don't no longer need to be in that person. Once he's ready to take you to a next level, he will separate that person from you, because that person has already taught you what you needed to learn. And I will say this much: all the friendships that I've lost, I learned a lot. Like, I learned a lot. Something that I could take with me forever, I feel like, for the rest of my life, that I could apply in every situation. So that was, like, the major thing for me. I feel like God has just really been great to me since in 2021. I feel like he blessed my year. He was there for me. He protected me from all kind of things. So I love you, God. But anyways, ain't he good? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? He's a good God, ain't he? All right, enough church. All right, But that's all the things that I've learned in 2021. Those are my top 7 things. There was a whole bunch of other things that I learned, but those are my top 7 things that I learned in 2021. Like I said, I'm just grateful to make it into 2022 because a lot of people couldn't make it into the new year, but I'm thankful that God kept me healthy, kept me strong, kept me with a sane mind, kept me in the right mind, you know, woke me up in the morning, planted my feet, come on solid rock, come on somebody, turn me around, okay? He really, you know, he really got my back. So I just want to thank y'all for tuning in today. You know, thank you for watching my video. And one more thing, don't forget to what? Like and subscribe to my channel. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.